Okay, hello. We are going to do some decoding with this thing, the Sator square. Um, I don't really know anything about it, to be quite honest. This kind of comes to me after I did this decode here um, with Home Alone, and I mentioned this 1010 here, and I kind of explained why that was a 911 reference, and I also explained. Did I explain in it? A certain number jump from 1010. Okay, I can't remember if I actually put that in there or not. I can't really remember what I put in that video now. Um, but anyway, I got a comment from Journeyman, and he mentioned to me this Sator square, right? Because in this thing, um, we have a 1010. One's going one way, one's coming the other way. They're coming back to the middle. This 10 is coming back to the middle, and this 10 is coming back to the middle. Right? So it's like this is like a balance point in the center here, and everything's being expressed, you know, future and past, yada yada yada. We're in a sort of a mirror thing going on here, which kind of gives me the idea of a zero date, um, and then coming away from that zero date, we should see. I guess if what I'm trying to say is if 9/11 was the beginning of this cycle, what we'll see is another date um, reflected for the end of the cycle, but there'll be a midpoint where that reflection of the date occurs, and that reflection could be 1010, as is put in here. And I think this is why Journeyman said, "Hey, have you seen this thing?" Because of course the 1010 is right here, mirrored as well. And I said to Journeyman, I said, I have seen it in my recommended thing, but I haven't watched it, and it's by this guy, Zenith of the Alpha America, um, and he's got some really good videos decoding this thing. And of course, I've watched about 4 or 5 of them, I think now, and of course, every time I see something, I make a comment, and then I watch another video, and he's already done the decode. So he's got a pretty good set of decodes for this thing. But I don't know what I'm going to talk about now. I don't know if he's already got the decodes in his back catalogue, because like I said, I haven't watched all his videos. So I don't know exactly what he's got and what he hasn't got. But I'm going to go ahead and do what I'm seeing. And if I'm repeating something, I apologize, but it just is what it is, we'll just have to see, maybe I got something new to bring to the table. Maybe it's all regurgitated the same stuff as what he's already done. So I'm not sure on that one. But anyway, I'm going to show you how this thing encodes 9/11. Okay, that date of 9/11. Let's do that first, and then once we've done that, I don't know, we'll just mess around with it some more, and I'll show you some more bits and bobs that I've kind of look interested in there. Okay, so the first thing is this is kind of the one that's in Wikipedia, and I think there's different versions of this thing, and I don't even know what I've done with my Wikipedia page now. Here it is. So this is the one that's in Wikipedia, and so I will go to it. I got it in Paint, okay, and I've very cunningly written down the numbers for each letter as well. Now, to be quite honest, you could probably really go pretty. I mean, this is several weeks of work really to decode this properly, because when you get into backwards letters in here, like this S here, okay, is that even an S? I guessing it's an S, and the N that's backwards, and this S down here that's backwards, and you can see, you know, you could almost start making this into a Z. This could be a Z. So, you know, the opportunity for having a multiple different decodes here is there's an awful lot of variables, really, even though it doesn't look like it. You can, you know, and of course that's just using English and like ordinal gematria cipher, you know, and so you could probably spend a lot of time picking out stuff here and numbers and stuff. But anyway, the first thing I wanted to do is I want to show you this decode, because these are the 3 letters that are backwards. Okay, so that's saying something to us. It's telling us to pick these letters out. That's what it's telling me anyway, and look at these letters differently. Yeah, because they're in reverse. Look at them differently. So the numbers that we get from this, let's go to this real quick. I put in the marginator. SNS, right? And so what we get is 52 on the ordinal, and then the reverse is 29. Okay, and just a quick note with the 20, the reverse reduction and the reduction, we got a 7 and a 20. So if you remember, but the some of that Madonna decode, we're looking at a 27 day jump for Madonna as well. I can't really remember exactly what I was talking about with that 27-day jump. It's a couple of videos back anyway, I think. But just bear that in mind with that 27 there. But anyway, 52 and 29 in the reverse. Now, I'm picking out 29 because it's the reverse. And these letters in that table chart thing, okay, the square, they're reversed. So I'm going to use 29 because it's the reverse, right? And then it's a simple case of, let's go to this, and already got something in there, but let's put the 29 in, right? And let's reverse again. Let's go back 29 days, and we're going from 1010. Okay, so that number that's in the middle of the table, the 1010, and we are going back 29 days because of the S, the N, and the S that is reversed, which gives us the reverse ordinal of 29. So we're going to go reverse, reverse, and let's see where we go to. September the 11th. Okay, so that's taking care of that little decode. Interestingly, we can go forward 29 days, and that 29 days forward is going to bring us to November the 8th. Okay, and if we go back to this thing now, check this out, because this is just, you know, this is nuts. What we have with the 18 on here, okay, you see my cursor hovering over the 18 here, we have the 1 and the 1 in an L shape here. Okay, so the 118 is referenced pretty well. Okay, so there's, like I said, there's a lot more to decoding this thing than just, I mean, you know, for instance, before I even watched, in fact, it was the first video I watched, I'd actually paused it on ZENITH of Alpha, his video itself. I had actually paused the video and I was looking at him like, before he's even done really any talking, and I'm looking at this with the dot here, with the dot here, with the dot here, and I know there's other dots on here, but I'm like, that looks like to me sun symbolism. And of course I watched a couple more of his videos, and he's picking this stuff out. This is, you know, he's also picking this out with sun symbolism. And then he goes on to say, look, what we've got here, this is him now, is Ra. Okay, Here's Ra, and here's Ra here with our 118, yeah? The sun god Ra, and our 118 again, yeah? Because 118 is about balance, yeah? And the sun represents that physical balance in the world. I don't know how to explain it, but the reason why the sun is always perfectly balanced is because it has those rules of natural law embedded in that physical being of the world, or just the physical world has natural law embedded in it, right? So it's always going to be balanced. So the balanced man, which is of course 1811, and we condense that down to a 118, because what we're going to do is we're going to share one of these ones, basically. The 18 is going to take and share the one that it has with the one of the 11, and we end up with 118 instead of 1118. Anyway, but the sun is that balance, yeah. 1118 or 118 is that reference to balance, and the sun itself is the reference to balance in the physical world. Yeah, that's the example to follow, if you like. So it's super interesting that Ra is like here, and again it's here. Okay, so you can see these. That's what Zenith picked out, you know. But we have also, you know, this sun symbolism here and here, which is again the 11. You know, these 11s here, not the 11s, the 1515. Sorry, with the O's, which again, if we go back to the dollar bill, the 155-day jump that's in there, and the 5th of November that's encoded into the dollar bill, this becomes important. Okay, sorry, I'm getting myself all turned upside down here. Again, our 55, yeah, which is around here. So you can start adding up numbers here, there, and everywhere as well with this thing. Another interesting thing to look at is, check this out as well. Let's change colors so I can get a bit of contrast here. But our dartboard number, yeah, look where it's showing up, you know, right here. It also showing up at the top as well. The 20 is at the top, at the same as the dartboard as well, and we've got the 5 and the 1, or the 1 here, whatever you want to look at it. But that's those same numbers at the top of the dartboard there. And funnily enough, you could probably, what I thought would be interesting, and I've done this several times now, is you can take this N or Z or whatever it's supposed to be, and you can actually run it and actually add up. You know, you could run it this way, you know, and actually add those up, and you can do it this way and add these up, you know, and you get some interesting numbers. Okay, one of the numbers that you get when you do that is, and I'm sure it was doing it this way, okay, is 192. And what's interesting about 192 is, when I saw this was 192, and I was like, oh, I already know what that is. And the fact that we've got these numbers that are at the top of the dartboard on each, you know, part of the cross here, I was like, 192, if you go from that date, and in fact, let's just do it. I've got it in here. Where is it? Here it is. No, that's not the right one. Hang on a minute. I've got so many tabs up with this nonsense on. May the 21st, yeah, that's our, what I call the matrix version of Christ's birthday. It's the reversed version of it. So it's 521, and we add on the 192. It takes us to, again, November the 29th, okay, which I've been looking at in the dollar bill. It's, if we go to this chart here, here's our 11 and here's our 29, okay. We're right, we want to be right at the center of this thing, and the 29 is representing these two numbers perfectly, okay. So again, we've got a nice little tie back to this, to the table here, to the chart of Lorraine. And again, those numbers that are in that thing, they show up in this table. You know, here's the 20, here's the 14 that's at the center, here's the 1 and the 1. Okay, here's the, we've got the 15 up and down here, we've got the 5, we've got the 55, you know, we've got the 18. I mean, the only thing we're really struggling with is a 16 and a 19 in this part right here. I mean, we do have a 6 and we do have a 9, but we are struggling for the actual number itself. We can even get some of the totals that are in that thing. If we go back to this, I'll just talk about some of the totals. Let's get rid of some of this real quick. Hang on. Okay, like some of the totals, like the total across this row here, if we added up all the letters, is 73. Okay, that is on the corners of our 5x5 square in the chart of Lorraine. Okay, if we do this one, this is 55. Okay, so this starts looking really interesting now. 64 for this row. Okay, Madonna happens to be 64 years old this year. 64 again. What I want to say, I was wanting to say something about 46, and I can't remember what it was now. But anyway, that's 64. We got, and then we've got the same again, 55 and 73. Okay, so some interesting numbers, and of course the 55 is representative of the what want to say, the metaphysical, and so we really need an 88 to go with this. Now this is all in ZENITH's video, these totals, right? But this total, these couple of totals here that I'm going to show you, I don't know if these are in there or not. I didn't come across them in his videos, but the kind of work that guy's doing, it's probably in a video somewhere, I would imagine. But okay, so we have 14 at the center here, right? And what I did is I just added up this next square, again like a target, and that came to, funnily enough, 88. Okay, so I just went round REP, and he may have this in his videos, but I didn't see it, or maybe I just wasn't paying attention, I don't know. And then if you add these ones up, okay, that is 218. Okay, and I just watched some videos recently with the 218s really being, people have been talking about it. But of course, you know, these rings, like again, like the rings of a dartboard, again, interesting that the 88 that is in this ring has also got this 55 thing going on here as well with these numbers here. So again, now we start drawing this out, and all of a sudden we're, you know, it might be interesting to go ahead and see what these ones come to here and make a rose out of the whole thing, if you know what I mean. I mean, you could, the opportunities are endless for decode on that. But I thought that was interesting. Any other interesting numbers that you can get? I mean, if you sum these up, okay, you're going to get the CRM 114. If I can write. So that's 114 for the cross here. The cross this direction, the cross of St. Andrew, the Great Scott, you're going to get 156. So just interesting stuff. You can add the whole chart up itself is everything added together is 320, which again is interesting. 2332 stuff. And also what you can do is, I can't remember what I did here, but I think what I did, see, I've got a bunch of stuff written down here, and sometimes I don't write stuff down clearly where I can re-understand it when I'm talking. No doubt. I also have a, okay, that's a different, okay, bear with me a second. Well, I can't remember what I did there. At some point I was able to minus out 100 out of it for some reason. I can't remember what I did. This is the problem with decoding when you've got like a ton of stuff to look at. Anyway, I don't know if there was really much more I wanted to say about this. What I want to show you though is a couple of interesting number jumps, and the reason why I would do these number jumps is the first one is let me show you something. This 83, I don't know why I did the 83. I know I did the 83 because I wanted to see what date, let's just do the straight 83. I wanted to see what date, you know, I got this prediction for Madonna to die on the 1st of January, right? At the minute. And that would probably change after the 1st of January and she doesn't croak it. But what was interesting was 83 days on from this date. And why I thought that was interesting was because Madonna's first album came out in '83. Let me show you this. So titled Madonna as well. What does it say released? I don't know. Released on the 27th of July, 1983. So there's an awful lot of songs on here that are very like borderline Lucky Star. I mean, the titles of these songs, and actually if you watch some of the videos as well, I mean, they're absolutely loaded with symbolism, right? And so 83 is another it's an interesting year because 1983 was also the year that the Hoover Dam was open. The spillway was opened up because of flooding, you know, because it was full to the brim, basically. I believe I've got it up here somewhere. The first time they ran those floodgates open, where the hell is it? Come on. The first time they ran the floodgates open was, I don't know where it's gone now, but it was, I think it was 41. And the symbolism of the water flowing over the dam in 83 before this thing becomes, you know, this is like the birth of Madonna here, 83. And again, it's the water flowing over the dam, 83. So I just thought it was interesting to do an 83-day jump. Pretty much was my reasoning behind that. And, you know, again, for it to come out on January the 1st was interesting. What else did I put in here? Let's do another jump. Let's do the, and I've got that in the next one over as well, but I changed it, didn't I? 111. And this comes out to January the 29th. Okay, the 129 that we've got in the dollar bill as well, with the tier fold. And of course, the tier is the tier is the water flowing from the eye. Yeah, the eye is the Vesica Pisces. The eye is essentially the dam, the porthole. I don't know why I keep saying porthole. Portal. from the metaphysical to the physical, okay? And so the tear flowing from that thing is representative of water coming from the dam, yeah? And again, January the 29th, so the 129 that is in that tier fold of the dollar bill, I mean, come on, I don't know, but everything just seems to be linking together more and more. The more I look at it, the more stuff links together. But the 111, the reason why we would pick 111 is because of number one, it's what I want to show you. Let me show you something in the dollar bill real quick. Hang on. There's a few reasons to pick 111, right? What am I doing? I needed to be on that. Oh, idiot. Turn it. Go to. Well, oh boy. Where is it? There it is. Okay, so we got, like on this side, I was saying this is an 11-11 maybe, or it could even be 11-11-11-11. But when you go to the other side of the dollar bill, there is a 111 on here. There's a reference to 111, and it's pretty cunning because what they've done is there are 3 ones that are associated with what I would call the Vesica Pisces on the actual page. I mean, there's several other. I mean, let me just stick with this for 1 second, right? Here is a Vesica Pisces. Here, the oval shape is the Vesica Pisces, right? The oval shape here and the oval shape here, okay? And each time there is a 1 in it, right? Okay, so we've got 3 ones that are inside Vesica Pisces shaped symbolism there, and then we got the odd man out here. Okay, now what I want to say is there's our 111 in the dollar bill, pretty simply right in front of us. It's not that difficult to get. I don't think that's a stretch to say there's 3 ones inside O's here. Okay, and again at the bottom of the $1 bill we have the 1 here inside a 0 and the 1 here inside a 0. Okay, and these two are, again, I mean, they're slightly different. Well, the actual internal part of it is the same, but they're different to this one as well. So we have a 1010 encoded here and a 111, just with 1s and 0s basically. Anyway, to cut a long story short and get to the point, this is one of the reasons why we're going to pick this 111. Okay, when we go to the chart of Lorraine, 111, we've got 3 1s. We've got these 3 1s here, yeah, and then we can separate off that 8, but the 3 1s are at the center of the table as well. Okay, so another 111 reference there. What else do I want to say about this 111 business? Oh dear, there was another reason for picking 111 as well. The other reason for picking 111 is because this thing with the SNS was encoding 911. Okay, 911 is all about the triple leg as well, the triple one as well, right? So because we've already encoded 911, right, it makes sense that we would again use 111 again. Okay, and so that's basically my reasoning behind why to use 111 several times over here, you know. And if we go to the number jump now, you know, we know that 111 takes us to the 29th of January. And again, if we go back 111, the 21st of June becomes, you're like, what is the 21st of June, Dan? Well, this becomes very important again with the sun ritual, like the two sides of where the sun is in the year. Okay, its peak and its zenith and its bottom point. I don't know what you call that. Okay. So this is June the 21st, 2022 is the summer solstice. So the sun is at its highest point at this point. Okay, and when we're dealing with this cycle of coming home, okay, the place where home is the place where you're born from. Okay, it's so where the beginning of the year is, you know, the sun's birthday, the Christ's birthday, is essentially the beginning and the end right there. Okay, so what we're dealing with is we've got a midway point in the cycle. Actually, this is a quarter-way point, if you like, because this is halfway between the top of the cycle and the bottom of the cycle. So what I'm saying is, if this is the peak here, the 21st, where the sun's the highest in the sky, what was he calling it? You would call it the keystone point of the year. Then the bottom half, that's from truth codes. Right. So the bottom part of the year would be essentially the place where the sun dies and is reborn again. And so we're going 110 days one way from October the 10th, from 1010, and we're going all the way back around the other way to the 29th of January. So the 29th of January in this context is representing basically Christmas, basically the death and then rebirth of man, I guess. And of course, we had the Kobe thing on the 26th, and when you count on 26, 27, 28, and 29, that gives us a 4-day rebirth ritual. Okay, because again, we're not actually dealing with Christ per se, are we? Because that's already the 25th, and 3 days earlier, if you like, depending on where the sun is at the actual time, really. But we use the 25th, and that's a 3-day rebirth thing there. The 4-day is our Lazarus thing, okay? And again, with that N that is in the middle of that table, and then it could possibly be a Z for Lazarus, maybe, just a thought, but it's a 4-day rebirth that we're looking at there, from Kobe through to the 29th. Okay, so anyway, I think I want to leave it there because I could literally waffle on. I mean, you can do so. Oh, I think I remember now why that was. I think I remember what I did. I think it was. Hang on a minute. Oh, blooming hell. Hang on a minute. Let me explain that. Yeah, that's what it was. Right. Okay, let me go back and explain that 100-day thing. Again, with the idea of the sun being in here, you can draw a thing on here, okay, which represents the sun's cycles in the sky, okay, a certain World War II symbol. Oh boy, I already went wrong, didn't I? okay, you can put that in, okay, which again, that's a symbol for the sun's rotation, or the seasons of the year, you know, whatever, or the Earth's rotation. I don't know, you know. Anyway, again, what I did was I removed this, 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 and this. I just took those numbers off, and that gave me 220. And interestingly, we were 100. We were 100 different from the 320 of the total thing, the total sum of all these letters, and we were minus 100 with this symbolism, which you know, it's just interesting. I don't know, you know. The other thing was, there was one other thing that Zenith mentioned in one of his videos when he was looking at that sun stuff. He mentioned this thing, which I haven't seen before. I'm not really into magic squares, but he had this in his video, a version of this, and this is the sun square, the 6x6 astrological sun with magic constant 111. So when you add up these, this is all coming out to 111. So I thought that was an interesting connection with the sun again and 111, and to use 111 for our jump. Okay. There are several other. You can do a ton of other jumps in there, and there are some interesting ones, and not so interesting ones as well. Trust me, I've done a whole bunch of them, and I thought I'd just put those two main ones in there, basically the Madonna one, and of course the 29 is interesting, and the 111 is interesting. So, but yeah, you just get the number calculator and just whack a load in there and see what comes up, basically. I want to leave it there. I mean, there are, again, you can do a lot of other things. Like you could take this Z, you know, and you could come across and do like add up those, and I've done a bunch of those, and you can get a whole bunch of other different numbers depending on, you know, where you have the thing, you know, whether you have it this way, that way, or if you go this way, you know, so you can go all over the place. And of course, Zenith also had they had also, it was him and another guy. I can't apologize to the other guy. I can't remember what the other guy was called, but they had the pentagram in here, and you could probably put, you know, you could probably do several other. And I mean, actually, with he does this one as well. The comes around like this, okay, which is actually, I don't know if he mentions it, but it's the octagon. But again, you can do all these kind of things, and it's pretty interesting, to say the least. I'm going to leave it there. The only thing that I've forgotten to mention, and this is actually in his one of his videos as well. I came across it after I had after I put a comment, hey, you should, the Tenet film, the main, the leading character is played by Washington, which again links us back to the dollar bill, and all those codes. So, man, this whole film is about starting at a location and going one way in time and one way back in time to come back to another point. And of course, what they're basically trying to do is stop the world from being annihilated. Basically, we're talking like the end of the world is what they're trying to prevent here. So, it's one of those films you just can't go and make yourself a cup of tea while it's going on. You've got to kind of sit there and watch it. And I'd seen it before, and I'm guessing that I'd probably seen it. I reckon maybe it was probably Enter the Stars probably had something on it. I'm guessing, or it might have been. I don't know. It might have been Matt. I doubt it was Matt, but it was somebody had mentioned it in passing, and I thought I'll go watch it. And I rewatched it, and I still didn't half know what was going on. But again, this is what we're looking at with the 10-10 is doing a number jump one way into the past and one into the future. So it's like a balancing point between two events, if you like. That's what I'm trying to say. But again, running time 150 minutes. I mean, I don't, I'm going to leave it there for this one. Okay, I've waffled on enough. It's probably an hour long already, this video. I apologize to Zenith if I have inadvertently copied something that he's already done in here and not given him credit for it. He's pretty much got a really good good breakdowns on all this stuff. I don't know what I'm forgetting to tell you in here, to be quite honest. Okay, I'll tell you what I forgot. One of the main things. Oh, blooming hell, Dan. Here's what I forgot. I forgot to show you the number jump. Okay, so from September the 11th, if we go 140 days, that's going to take us to January the 29th, okay? And at the center of the square is the 14, okay? So, boy, that's pretty important. I can't believe I forgot to put that in there. And again, that let me reiterate the 111 jump, yeah, because 101 days takes us to the end of this year for September the 11th. Okay, it takes us to the end of the year, to the end point. So when we use that 101 days that is encoding the end of the cycle for 911, we take and use that 110 days, it's gonna hypothetically take us to 129, which again would be the end point. Okay, and then we've also got the 14 that is in the middle of that table. Okay, and I'll tell you one more thing as well. I'll show you this as well. I think I kind of noticed this while I was doing the edit, and so I'm going to stick this in the end as well. So this 140 is super critical. Okay, that's not what I'm going to show you now, but what I want to show you here is when I was writing that. Let me get rid of some of this. When I was writing that cross in there before, like this, unfortunately it's not gone in the right spot this time. What I actually noticed, hang on, let me see if I can do this and actually show you what I saw. I drew it down like this, right? And then I put the cross in like this. So when you draw that cross in, look what is revealed. Okay, look what number is revealed at the center of this table. Okay, 11. Now I thought that was pretty interesting with the 14, and also again, this is again interesting again with the 11 here. Maybe, this is I believe Zenith actually does this in his video. He has this has the two what they call vector sync, you know, the two arrowheads. Okay, and I would look at this as, let me draw it a little clearer. I would look at those two arrows coming together as the V and the A as Adam and Eve, and that is what we're trying to achieve, is those two things being together in balance rather than one being in control of the other. Okay, but I thought this was interesting when I drew that cross in earlier. Some of you probably noticed it, but it revealed that 11 there, and I just thought that was really interesting, because what the cross added up to before was 114. Okay, oh, blooming hell, Dan, why are you writing it like that? Come on, 114. And when you change this 14 to an 11, what you actually end up with is, so this is, I don't know, that was just weird. That's just interesting. That if that was an 11, if these were, again, if this was an 11, which the N kind of looks, you know, like an 11. I mean, basically, an N or a H. What other letters are there that you can kind of get as the symbol of an 11 from? You know, so anyway, I just thought it was interesting. Another 111 that's kind of, you kind of have to put the cross over the top of it, but it kind of reveals itself when that cross is there. Interesting. I'm gonna leave it there. All right, cheers, bye. Oh boy, no, I'm not leaving it there because I'm still forgetting something. Blimmin' hell. Good job my head's screwed on, because otherwise that would be long gone. Back to the Future. One last with the 14. Okay, Back to the Future. Clock Tower. Okay, you know where I'm going with this right now, don't you? 10, 0, 4, 0. That's what I was forgetting. Okay, there's our 14 again, at the center of this table. Pretty interesting. Alright, that has to be the end of the video. Alright, thanks, bye.